Good evening. Here we are again. Another of the Kithbook series. This time, you can see up there, we're talking about Nockers. And this video is one of the very few times that I can get away with saying it without getting slapped. I absolutely love Nockers. Hands down, one of my favorite Kiths. You can see, if you read that quote right in the middle of the page, these guys are engineers. They are techies. Not only that, but they are well known for cynicism and bitterness, and for being master crafters. They are fiercely individualistic and belittle anything that does not match their own ideal of perfection. Basically, if I had red skin and some funny painting on my face, I'd already be a knocker. They surround themselves with mechanical wonders. I'm sat in an office full of them. And they would rather interact with machines than with people. Yeah, still there. When they are forced to have social contact, they are eminently sarcastic and blazingly critical. I'm sure I'll get comments from my gaming group confirming that one. Now, these guys, how do you describe what the Nockers are? Well, it says right there in the appearance that they're not as hideous as the goblins of legends. Nockers can be a mismatch of a lot of goblins, worker elves, gnomes, dwarves, all of these kind of crafter fantasy etymologies come out of the Nockers. Traditionally seen with reddish skin, long arms and legs, spindly fingers, often with black claws, often with white faces or with red cheeks, and often painting their faces. Why? Because why not? Now, these guys have some very interesting birthrights. The big one is make it work. They are masters of whipping items out of thin air. With a few random materials, a bit of glamour, and I love this quote, I have to read it direct because it's amazing, a highly cinematic and honestly self-serving appreciation of science. What else can you say? These guys are not doing science. These guys are banging things together, coming up with some vaguely scientific sounding excuse with lots of big words, and it works because they've dreamed that it will work. Now, these are temporary items. They are chimerical items. Their example is a firearm out of a light bulb, a water pistol, and a handful of nails. How does that work? It doesn't, but it does. It requires an intelligence crafts roll, difficulty based on what they're trying to do, 1 to 3 points of glamour, and the big kicker, they have to have a bit of privacy. Kithane can be present. Now, Kithane are both the kiths of the changelings and also mortals with fey heritage. So they may not actually be a changeling, but they have some kind of fey heritage. They have fairy sight. They have something of that nature. They can be there. Mortals cannot be there while these guys are working chimerical materials. It just throws everything out of whack. And the other one is, of course, fix it. They can fix just about anything, chimerical or mundane. Sometimes all it takes is a kick and a few harsh words. These guys can literally beat and intimidate machines into working properly. Brilliant. intelligence and crafts, or manipulation, intimidation. They can literally scare machines into working. Now, their frailty. Perfect is the enemy of done. They strive for perfection in everything they make, and yet some cosmic joke of the dreaming says they can never succeed. No matter how many successes they roll when they create something, it always has a minor, irreparable flaw. This means that no matter how good they are, something is always wrong. And they make a roll. If it's a 1, the device breaks or fails in an often spectacular fashion. One of my favorite kind of images of these guys is from Dragonlance, from D&D, the Gnomes of Krynn, the Gnomes of Mount Nevermind. These guys have come up with engineering that is hundreds of years ahead of the rest of their planet. Amazing steam-powered technological marvels that regularly explode. Because that's innovation. That's just how it is. So there you have it. The Nockers, one of my absolute favorite kiths. Go ahead and like, subscribe. I might be back shortly with some more. I'm going to see how I feel, and talk to you later.